You bend down to admire your tomato plants, and your heart sinks when you see yellow leaves, drooping stems, and holes in the foliage, even though you've been carefully doing everything organic. It's frustrating because you're avoiding chemicals, you're trying to do the right thing, and yet the garden still looks tired and stressed instead of lush and productive. If that sounds familiar, you're absolutely not alone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the most common organic gardening mistakes that quietly sabotage your results, even if you're experienced and careful. We'll talk about what's actually going wrong, why it matters more in an organic garden than in a chemical-heavy one, and what simple changes will finally give you healthier plants and better harvests. By the end, you'll understand how to work with nature, not against it, so you can grow more food with less frustration and absolutely no synthetic chemicals. Organic gardening is incredibly rewarding, but it also comes with unique challenges that can discourage even seasoned gardeners. When you choose not to rely on quick chemical fixes, every weakness in your soil, watering, or plant care shows up more clearly and sometimes more painfully. The good news is that most of these frustrations are fixable once you understand what's really happening in the living system under your feet. Let's start with the first big mistake: poor soil preparation, especially not using enough compost. In an organic garden, your soil isn't just dirt holding up the plants, it's the pantry, the plumbing, and the immune system all rolled into one. When the soil is thin, compacted, or low in organic matter, your plants struggle to find nutrients, hold moisture, and resist stress, no matter how carefully you water or how many organic sprays you buy. When you skip this step, you're essentially asking your plants to run a marathon on an empty stomach. To fix this, focus on feeding the soil before you even think about feeding the plants. That means adding a generous layer of well-finished compost every season, mixing it into the top few inches for new beds, and using it as a mulch for existing ones. Compost improves drainage, holds moisture, and provides a slow, steady supply of nutrients that your plants and beneficial microbes can actually use, which is the foundation of every successful organic garden. Over time, this habit turns your garden into a self-sustaining system that needs far less rescuing from you. The second common mistake is overwatering or underwatering, especially when it comes to delicate seedlings. In an organic system where you're trying to build strong roots and resilient plants, inconsistent moisture can be a silent destroyer, causing weak growth, damping off disease, and plants that never quite recover. Seedlings need moisture that is steady but not soggy, and that balance is tricky if you're just guessing based on the surface of the soil. In a sense, you're either training your plants to be survivors or accidentally setting them up to be fragile and dependent. To avoid this, think of watering seedlings like filling a sponge instead of a bucket. You want the soil to be evenly moist through the root zone, not flooded on top and dry below, and not swinging from soaking wet to bone dry every day. Use your finger to test a couple of inches down, water slowly so the soil can absorb it, and consider using a gentle bottom watering tray so roots grow downward in search of steady moisture, which creates stronger plants. Once you get into this rhythm, you'll notice your seedlings stand up straighter and recover faster from hot or windy days. The third big mistake is poor pest identification, and then grabbing the wrong organic solution. Not every bug is a villain, and even among the bad guys, different insects require different strategies, especially when you're avoiding harsh chemicals. Spraying the wrong organic product at the wrong time can waste money, kill your beneficial insects, and still leave you with chewed leaves and ruined harvests. In an organic garden, knowledge and observation are far more powerful than any spray bottle on the shelf. A better approach is to slow down and become a bit of a garden detective before you act. Take a close look at the damage pattern, check under the leaves, and maybe snap a clear photo so you can compare it to a reliable guide or ask a local gardening group. Once you know exactly what you're dealing with, you can choose the gentlest effective solution, whether that's hand-picking, a strong blast of water, insecticidal soap, or simply encouraging beneficial predators to do the work for you. This slower, more mindful method often reveals that the solution is much simpler than you first imagined. The fourth mistake is ignoring plant spacing, which is easy to do when seeds are tiny and young transplants look small and innocent. In an organic garden, crowding plants not only reduces airflow and light, it also creates a perfect environment for fungal diseases and weak growth, which you cannot simply mask with synthetic fungicides or high-powered fertilizers. Plants that are too close compete for nutrients and water, and the whole bed ends up producing less, not more. What looks like just a few extra plants now can quietly turn into a season-long battle with disease and disappointment. If you want stronger plants and easier organic care, respect the spacing on the seed packet or plant tag, even if it feels overly generous when the plants are small. Remember that good airflow and room for roots are part of your pest and disease prevention plan in an organic system, not just a cosmetic choice. When each plant has enough space, you'll find they resist problems better, are easier to inspect, and often produce larger, higher-quality harvests. Once you see the difference in plant health and harvest size, giving each crop its proper space will feel like an easy decision, not a sacrifice. Before we move on, if you're finding this helpful and you want more step-by-step organic gardening tips that respect your time and your body, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. It tells YouTube to show this to more home gardeners just like you, and it lets me keep making practical guides that help you grow more food with less trial and error. Your support really does make a difference for this channel and for the whole community of organic growers. Now here's the big aha moment that ties all of this together. Most organic gardening mistakes come from not fully understanding that your garden is an ecosystem, not a factory. When we treat soil, water, and pests as separate problems, we end up chasing symptoms instead of strengthening the whole system. When you shift your focus to building a living, balanced environment, a lot of the problems you've been fighting start to fade into the background. When you start seeing your garden this way, the choices you make about planting, watering, and pest control suddenly become much clearer and far less stressful. The single most powerful way to do that is to focus on soil health, because healthy soil is the engine that drives everything else in an organic garden. Rich, living soil buffers watering mistakes, feeds your plants steadily, and supports armies of microbes and beneficial insects that quietly defend your garden for you. When you invest your time and energy into compost, mulching, and gentle soil care, you're not just fixing one issue, you're preventing dozens of future problems. Think of every wheelbarrow of compost and every layer of mulch as a long-term investment that quietly pays you back in stronger plants and fewer problems. So here's the key takeaway. Organic gardening success is not just about refusing to use chemicals. It's about understanding and supporting the natural processes that want to keep your garden healthy. When you prepare your soil with compost, water thoughtfully, identify pests correctly, and give your plants room to breathe, you're working with your garden's own built-in intelligence instead of constantly fighting against it. That shift in mindset will save you time, effort, and a lot of disappointment in every growing season to come. Instead of constantly reacting to crises, you'll be calmly guiding a living system that mostly knows how to take care of itself if you give it the right support. If you found yourself nodding along because you've made some of these mistakes, remember that every gardener has been there, including me, and it's never too late to course correct. I'd love to hear which mistake hit closest to home for you, or what you'd like to fix first in your own garden this season. Your question or story might be exactly what another gardener needs to hear, so they can skip a few years of struggle and enjoy their garden more. If this was helpful, please like this video, subscribe for more organic gardening guides, and leave a comment sharing your biggest "I wish I knew this sooner" moment so we can all learn from each other.